Hello viewers, and welcome to the review for Transformers Revenge of the Fallen for the Nintendo Wii. So we're going to kick it off with talking about just the modes. This is arena mode, and this is campaign mode. Now, there are two different modes, and the differences are is that in arena mode, it's basically just straight up combat against hordes and hordes of enemies. In campaign, it has a story to it. Now, I'm not going to show you arena mode because it's 2 players, but I'm going to show you campaign. So I'm going to show you a level from Act 1 called Ironhide vs. Demolisher. And I'm going to talk about some of the technical and gameplayable, or I guess you could say, aspects to this game throughout this. So you can see, here's a loading time. So first I'm going to talk about the sound. Now the actual music throughout this game really isn't that bad, but one of the things I love about the Transformers movies is that they always have this really, really good soundtrack. That's completely absent in this game. But there's still some music here, and it's not really all that bad. The voice acting is decent too because it's the actors from the movie. However, the only problem with it is that it's very simple dialogue, and there's not really any flair to it to bring it to life. Now, the actual sound effects really aren't that bad. You have your transformation, you have your guns, and you have your hits. The actual contact between one robot and robot is probably the worst sound effect in the game. Now, if you look at the graphics here, if you haven't figured it out for yourself, they suck. And I've seen worse, but overall, what's here is terrible. It's not really that good at all. Now, what you just did was I executed a special move. There's multiple moves. You can shake the remote for just regular moves, right? You can hold down C and shake it for like a break attack. If you hold down B, you get your normal gun. If you hold down Z, you get a heavy shot. And what I did there was where I jumped up in the air and turned into the car thing. That was called a special move, and that's by pressing down. You cannot transform whenever you want in this game. So for those of you who were looking forward to being able to transform like you could in the first game, you cannot here. Now overall, looking throughout it, you can see that the gameplay is very simple, it's quite repetitive, and it's really simple looking because it's all those things, it is. And it can be quite problematic, but overall it's entertaining and fits the game well. Now, the game doesn't do, gameplay-wise, it could be a whole lot better, but it doesn't do anything really wrong, which is a good thing for this game, because it does, gameplay-wise it does that, because it does a whole lot more implementation. I had mentioned the sound and the graphics. I have not brought up the story yet, which is probably a good thing if you're in this game. The story is, it follows the movie. I know the story was just okay, but when you put it in the game, the narrative is even worse here, making for a really, really boring, difficult to follow story. Which is really the biggest weakness to this game, is the fact that its story is very, very simple, overly simplified, and really does not deliver. It was a real big disappointment because we could have expected a really good story from this game too, being that the movie had a decent story. But that's not what we got, and that's a little disappointing. Now, the game does deliver on some set pieces, like the action set pieces, kind of like a movie, but it's very rare that you're actually going to get any of that. Very few of them spread thinly throughout the campaign. So one of those big moments is actually coming up in a few seconds with your big battle against Demolisher. So these are the boss battles, and the boss battles really aren't anything special. In fact, they're kind of like the traditional boss battles. There's always a trick, and it's a really bad trick here. There's never really anything really, really cool and pizzazzish towards these boss battles. They're very simple, usually a very simple trick to defeating them. And you can see a health meter on the bottom, which is exactly how you know this is cheap. Because no really good games have a health meters up for their bosses. At least not that I know of. Fudge. Made a mistake there. And these boss battles can really get really annoying with the way you have to do things. And you can see it goes into this kind of like quick time event, which is really, really simple. And it's supposed to do a lot of damage. But honestly, you don't really see how it could. Just because of the way it is. And, yeah, so here's your terrible dialogue. Oh, crap. Yeah, you can get stuck in the environment. That's actually the first time that happened to me. But you can happen. It's leave the know for that. And here's another bad quick time. And these boss battles are filled with quick time events, which makes them really problematic and really annoying to people. I just died, and if you die, you have to restart. And that's really, really annoying. Now you really get the point on that the Transformers game really doesn't have a lot to offer. And Transformers Revenge of the Fallen really isn't that good. And because of all the problems it has, we're going to give Transformers Revenge of the Fallen on Wii a 5.5 out of 10.
Polisher is wounded. I am going to finish him off.